day one of the MVC Conference Tournament, also known as Arch Madness. I'm Haley Spittler, joined today with Henry Redmond. Now, game one saw the Evansville Purple Aces play the Northern Iowa Panthers. You watched this game. Walk me through it. What happened well? What did they struggle with?
So, really nothing worked well for either team today. They both struggled with shooting. UNI shot 40% from the field, and Evansville shot 38%. It was just kind of a mess the whole game. The really only impressive part was Drew Smith and Isaiah Brown.
Would you say those are the two key players that really stuck out in your mind?
Yeah, Drew Smith, he kind of started out slow in the first half, but in the second half he went off and ended up scoring 20 points, kind of keeping Evansville in the game. And then Isaiah Brown shut down Ryan Taylor, who was the MVC's leading scorer this season. Taylor had 2 points today in his last college basketball game. So obviously that's not what you want to do, but credit to Brown.
Now, when this game ended, I actually headed to the press conference where I had the chance to talk with Northern Iowa's head coach. I just spoke with Northern Iowa head coach Ben Jacobson, who said he was extremely proud of the defense his team had tonight against Evansville, but recognized the challenge it's going to be tomorrow when they take on #1 seed Loyola University. He said that the team will be focusing on more than just containing Custer due to the wide depth of the team that Loyola does have. He said that it's going to be a tough game, but if they play their best, they might be able to walk away with the win. Well, we heard Jacobson mention the struggle that it's going to be to play Loyola and how they're going to be at the top of their game. What do you think about the game tomorrow against UNI facing Loyola?
Well, Loyola is one of the best shooting teams in the country, and UNI shot 40.4% today. They're going to have to really step it up if they want to have a chance against the best offense in the conference.
Now, back on Tuesday, the head coach of Loyola, Porter Moser, actually talked to media and discussed what he's looking forward to at Arch Madness.
We have our work cut out for us. I mean, everybody's chasing us, but we've got to be chasing in this tournament. I mean, it's as deep as a field to put 3 games in a row. It's just amazing to think that, you get the 1 seed and you got to play the winner of Evansville, who, has the #1 defense in our league, and Northern Iowa, who has historically won this as much as anybody the last 10 years. And it's just a crazy first game from the 1 seed, but that's the way our league is. Every coach will tell you there's not much separation from the top to the bottom.
Porter also talked about at that media day the different awards that Loyola won back on Tuesday, including Ben Richardson, who won Defensive Player of the Year for the Missouri Valley Conference. That was a really special award for Moser because he has nominated Ben to be on that team every single year since Ben was a freshman. And to not only make the team, but to be Defensive Player of the Year was just really, really cool for Porter Moser. What other awards did we win?
Well, Cam Krutwig won Freshman of the Year after his crazy, impressive first year at Loyola. He's been a beast. We've watched him get better every game, and it's been amazing to see him develop in the Valley. He's going to be fun to watch for the next 3 years. And then we also, Loyola, they swept the first team, third team, all defensive team, all bench team, all newcomer team, all freshman team. They came home with a lot of hardware this week.
And then probably the huge award that was won was by Clayton Custer, who won MVC Player of the Year. When he talked to media, he discussed how for him it's not really an individual win.
I don't win the award if I'm not on a really good team. There were guys who had better numbers than me in the conference and all that, and it's just that they put an emphasis on winning, and since we won the conference, they gave it to me. So I give a lot of the credit to my teammates for putting me in positions to be successful and for believing in me to make plays.
We will see Custer back on the court tomorrow, which will most likely have a couple more fans in the stands because here at Arch Madness, attendance can really vary based on the day. With more on this story, we have RSL reporter Conor Bergin.
Thursday, March 1st marks the beginning of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, but the stands don't quite reflect it. The first day is notoriously low turnouts with only the most devoted fans in attendance.
How long have you been a Northern Iowa fan?
About 30 years.
Started UNI in 1985, so been a fan since then.
Let's see, I'm 67, so let's say 67 years.
How long have you been an Evansville Aces fan?
Over 10 years. Over 50 years.
Can you talk about what went into your guys' wardrobe decision today?
Well, last year we were here and we had face paint. So we came back this year and we thought we needed to step it up a little. Got the morph suits.
Though the stadium was far from filled, those present remained proud to support their teams.
Are you guys the only representatives from the Evansville student section here today?
We got one more over there.
One more? All right.
Yeah. We're trying to make it great again.
It's slightly disappointing. We'd obviously love to have a bunch of students out here with us, but at the same time, we're having fun with it.
We had a pep rally before the game down at the village in the ballpark, and I really thought there might be about 20 of us there. And it was a good crowd. Very happy, very happy.
You guys still think that you can win this thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we get hot, if we can play the game that we know we can play.
If we get hot, anything can happen.
What do you think about your team's chances for the tournament?
We're going to win it.
You gonna win
all
it?
of it.
We're going to go all the way.
While the crowds were scarce today, we look forward to a larger turnout tomorrow as the madness has only just begun. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Conor Bergin.
I'm here now with Conor. Now, you watched Game 2, which was Missouri State versus Valparaiso. Walk me through what you saw, what happened really well, what did they maybe struggle with?
Yeah, so while the second game of the night ended with a tight score, it didn't feel that way throughout. Missouri State dominated the game, leading by as much as 15 points in the second half, led by their star player, Alizé Johnson, who had 22 points, 19 rebounds, and 6 assists. He was doing everything from distributing to shooting threes to getting putbacks. He really just led the team to the win.
Is there a key player that you really noticed in the game?
Yeah, so like I said, Alizé Johnson, the 6'9" power forward for Missouri State, led them to the win. Ryan Krecklow and Jared Rhodes pitched in, both knocking down a lot of threes. But in the end, Johnson was just too much for Valparaiso to handle inside and out.
Now, the game did end with a score of 83-79 for Missouri State. After the game ended, RSL reporter Nick Schultz went to the press conference and talked to the head coach of Missouri State.
I'm Nick Schultz, courtside of the Scottrade Center, as we just finished up day 1 of Arch Madness. I just got out of the press conference with Missouri State University head coach Paul Lusk, and he pointed to his team's ability to hit free throws as being a critical factor in his team's victory over Valparaiso. He said Ryan Krecklow was one player in particular who could hit the free throws in the clutch. The Bears will now go on to face Southern Illinois University in the quarterfinals March 2nd here at Scottrade Center. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Nick Schultz.
Now, what did you see from Valparaiso in their first Missouri Valley Conference tournament game?
Yeah, so Valparaiso really lived or died by the three-point shooting. They were able to shoot 10 for 18, which kept them in the game, but down the stretch they just couldn't hit enough to end up overcoming the lead.
Like we mentioned, Missouri State did win the game. They'll play tomorrow against SIU in Game 5, which takes place at 6 o'clock. That's it for day 1 of Arch Madness. We'll be back with day 2.